Welcome to Animate Bible Stories channel. Our Bible story for you today is The Woman with the Issue of Blood. In the heart of the town of Capernaum lived a woman named Miriam. For 12 long years, Miriam had suffered from an unrelenting flow of blood. In those times, such a condition left a person isolated, considered unclean by the laws and traditions. For Miriam, this meant she couldn't attend worship, nor could she touch or be near her family, friends, or community. Her world had slowly shrunk to a single, lonely room. Miriam had tried everything. She visited every physician, every healer within her means. She spent all her savings, but no remedy brought her relief. Each new attempt filled her with hope, only to leave her weaker and poorer, her spirit drained. Each day, her pain and despair deepened, and she began to wonder if healing was even possible. One day, as she lay resting, Miriam overheard the excited voices of some villagers outside her window. "Jesus is back in Capernaum," said one, her voice buzzing with excitement. "He's healed so many. Even the blind see, and the lame walk." Another voice chimed in. "I heard he cast out demons and raised the dead. They say he's unlike anyone else we've ever seen." Miriam's heart pounded. She had heard of Jesus, the miracle worker, but she had never dared imagine she could approach him. Yet, hearing that he was in Capernaum, so close, ignited a spark of hope deep within her. Could this be the answer she had prayed for? If I could just touch him, even just the hem of his robe, she thought, a quiet determination taking root in her. "I believe he could heal me." The next morning, weak but determined, Miriam wrapped herself in her cloak and ventured out. She followed the sound of a crowd until she saw him, the man people called the Messiah, the one who healed with just a touch or a word. He was walking with purpose, surrounded by people who pressed close, eager to be near him. Her heart raced as she pushed through the throng, desperately hoping no one would recognize her. She kept her head down, her face hidden. "If they knew I was unclean," she thought, "they would surely pull me away, and I would lose my only chance." As Jesus walked past, Miriam reached out, stretching her fingers, her hand trembling. She didn't dare call out or stop him. She only wanted a touch. Her fingers brushed the edge of his robe, and in that instant, something powerful and miraculous happened. A warmth surged through her body, so intense and comforting that she nearly fell to her knees. She felt strength returning, the pain and weariness disappearing. The bleeding, which had persisted day and night, was gone. She was healed. Miriam stood in stunned silence, overwhelmed by the miracle. But suddenly Jesus stopped. "Who touched me?" His voice was calm but certain. The disciples looked around, puzzled. Peter, ever practical, replied, "Master, the people are all around you, pressing against you. How can you ask who touched you?" But Jesus didn't move. "I know someone touched me. I felt power go out from me," he insisted, his eyes scanning the crowd. Miriam's heart pounded in her chest. She had tried so hard to remain hidden, but she knew now that Jesus was aware. Trembling, she stepped forward and fell at his feet, unable to hold back her story. "Lord, it was me," she said, her voice shaking. "I have been suffering for 12 years. I believe that if I could just touch your robe, I would be healed. And I am." Tears of relief streamed down her face as she looked up at him. Jesus looked at her with a kindness and compassion that took her breath away. There was no anger, no rebuke, only understanding and love. He reached out a hand to her and said gently, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be free from your suffering." The word "daughter" resonated in her heart, a word she hadn't heard in years, one that spoke of belonging and acceptance. She realized that Jesus hadn't only healed her body, but had restored her spirit, her sense of worth, and her place among people. She was no longer isolated, no longer an outcast. As Miriam walked home, she felt lighter than she had in years. She couldn't stop smiling, her heart overflowing with gratitude and awe. She had believed, even in her darkest days, that she could be healed, and her faith had been rewarded. If this story inspires you, please subscribe to Animate Bible Story channel. Thank you.